twice a week. But again, we're not talking about a novel. So if you have new models that are coming out, if you have new used inventory, these kinds of things are great for blogs. And typically they don't take up too much time, which, you know, I mean, at the end of the day, we're all trying to figure out how we're going to save time here while engaging in 576 new social media platforms. I mean, it's a lot. It really is. So, but blogging is definitely an important piece of that aspect.
So to follow up on the blog idea, is your blog a separate web presence, or is it attached to your website?
Your blog is attached on your website, and depending on, do you know what platform your website's been developed on, whether it's WordPress, Squarespace? Yeah, okay. So most of our current platforms that we're developing websites on, be that, you know, WordPress most commonly, but then Squarespace. Sometimes, I don't know this yet. Anyway, a lot of them are automatically going to have blogs that are baked in. So, and sometimes it's a matter of turning that on, but yeah, you should absolutely have
I
that.
was thinking it would be, but then I wasn't sure, when you were talking about driving things back and forth, I wasn't sure.
So when I'm talking about driving things back and forth, I'm talking about between your email marketing and your website. So, and those are really important distinctions. I mean, sometimes that stuff gets, it all can turn into a blur very quickly. So thank you for making that clarification. Sir?
Oh, no, I was going to add to the blog comment.
Sure.
With the Chevrolet dealer, also being an industry leader too, could come through blogs.
Absolutely.
Relevant content. So if someone is looking for a Cadillac and he has a very in-depth blog about fuel efficiency,
sure,
all these new trends with cars, I'm going to feel very educated going to the Cadillac dealer and saying they know about cars.
Absolutely. My main focus, and this is a really important point, so while the novel doesn't need to be the thing that you sit down and write every week, you're absolutely correct. It does help set you apart, particularly if you're able to find something that nobody else is talking about, which is really important. I don't, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Do we have any other questions? Yes.
And I was just going to add on to that too, using video blogs. Especially, I've seen it a lot in car dealerships.
Yep.
You know, how-to videos on how to change your tire, how to, you know, change your own oil and things like that. I know, yes, you want people to come into the dealership to do that, but if they can do it on their own, when it's time to go into the dealership, they're going to go, you know what, I found them, and be able to go. So utilizing how-to videos, especially, but like you said, being the industry leader, but for video, and it's as simple as a cell phone.
True story, I changed my own alternator from my 1994 Land Rover Discovery because I watched an 11-year-old kid do it on YouTube. If he did it, I have to be able to figure this out. It was greasy.
It was the last time.
You know what? No, I would do it again. Actually, I ended up doing it again because the alternator that I got to replace the original malfunctioning alternator was also malfunctioning. Cheers to Land Rover. Don't buy them. That's the moral of the story. I mean, everybody has a Land Rover. I mean, we don't have a Land Rover dealer here today, out of curiosity. Oh, okay. Sold. Do I get a deal?
Absolutely.
All right. Do we have any other questions? Okay, so I have a question. Is the information provided here too elementary? Is this all stuff that you've already seen, heard, felt, been exposed to before?
Some yes, some no.
Okay, well that's good. Is it too much? Right? No? Okay. It's a challenge figuring out for, you know, individual audiences what that's going to look like. I would love to, you know, sit down and dig into analytics and help people understand what parts of all of those, you know, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn analytics are actually helpful and important. You know, but we'll save that for another day. Did I see another hand? Yes.
I was just going to say, I am familiar with some of this. You lost me at the social suite. I've not heard of that one.
Okay.
And what I would like to say is that it's all lots of what.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having a hard time with how. There's
Gotcha.
some hows that I'm stuck on.
Yeah.
And I don't know who to turn to for those hows.
Which hows?
Because I know it's involved. Well, we've got our business site with Facebook, which is completely different than our regular personal Facebook
Yes.
platform. So I'm trying to learn, without having any reference or anybody to go to understand that whole system and that lingo. So it's all new to me.
Sure.
And we're new here, we're a new business, so I don't know who to reach out to say, okay, how do I do this thing on here? I don't even understand what I'm reading when I have instructions on Facebook.
Gotcha, okay.
sometimes.
Well,
It's the hows that are.
and, you know, I mean, maybe it makes a lot of sense to do a tutorial together and, you know, sit down with some of the hows, because, you know, particularly like for Facebook advertising, where do I even go as a business owner to find, you know, that Facebook ad that I'm supposed to be posting, you know? I mean, sometimes.
Yeah, I don't understand some of the stuff that's coming up. I'm looking at all of it, but I don't really understand it.
Sure.
It's all so new to me in
Sure.
that format, so, as a business person, I don't know, like, is this the wise thing to do? Like, so far I've just boosted posts, I haven't
Right.
done an ad. So I'm looking at all those things now and wondering.
How do
for
I make
us,
that decision?
how do I do that?
Yeah.
Do they have teachers videos on YouTube?
By 11-year-old boys. Yeah. And they'll get you every time. But you're like, well, yeah, I can do that. No, that 11-year-old kid is also coding. And what I would say to that, and sir, I'll be right with you, is I have seminar evaluation forms in the middle of all of our tables. I love as much information as I can get because it helps me do a better job. It helps me connect better to you and to answer some of the questions that you're going to end up with at the end in a more meaningful way. So if you could, please fill that out, and, you know, I'm happy to have a, you know, quick, you know, chat with you and talk about what some of those things are and just kind of parse it out individually. You know, if you work with me, great. If not, at least we can share the information. This is the reason why I started the Graduate Agency. It breaks my heart that so many small business owners get duped into buying services that don't end up working particularly well, or just kind of are sold an idea that isn't necessarily going to work for them. You know, but you don't know, because how do you even begin to, you know, kind of put all of these pieces together without somebody who's going to walk you through it? So that was the reason why Fred started. And yeah, these conversations I always welcome, so please. Yes, sir.
I own a small business here in town, just so happens to be a couple of radio stations.
Hey.
And of course, in the social media world, you guys think we're going quick. However, what we've done is embrace the technology, and now we're adding posts to lives and
Sure.
trying to actually sell a little bit more. Do you have any ideas on
So are you talking about
like the radio station?
cross-platform marketing?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, there are a lot of tools out right now between, you know, Audible, Apple podcasts, right? So I think radio stations are fantastic because you still get people turning in, but then now you have all of this content that you've been able to capture during the day that you can also cross-market. I mean, miss our show today at 11, well, it's going to be uploaded onto our podcast come the end of day tomorrow, or the end of day today. So, you know, yeah, I think the business model has changed a little bit, but now, I mean, when we're talking about content, the thing that you want more than anything else is for people to pay you to talk about yourself, right? I mean, that's what GoPro's done really well, Lego the movie. Oh, come on. You know, you just made $2 billion getting me to pay you to watch your stuff so that I go buy your product. This is amazing. So, you know, let's talk about subscriptions and what that model could look like. I mean, it's a different business model a little bit, but, you know, there's definitely a lot of opportunity. And there's a lot of, you know, cross-promoting that you could be doing. Did I have another question? How am I on time?
You're okay, we have a few minutes if
Okay,
there are
great.
any more questions.
It's a good view from the back. Do we have any other questions? Comments, concerns? Yes?
I guess just about the Facebook Live and how to use that effectively, like what's the best way to really utilize that? Is it through like sharing like life hacks, quick tips, or?
So, you know, if we're talking about interiors, if you've got a designer that loves to be in front of the camera, have them walk you through what to do in small spaces. Have them talk about what additions you can make to a kitchen that will enhance a kitchen for a small space. I mean, I talk about small spaces because I spend a lot of time in New Orleans, and everybody seems to have a small space. You know, those are a couple of ideas. If you have new products, you can always actually talk about product if you're talking about how that product solves problems, right? So at this point, our jobs are to solve people's problems, they're not to sell people things. You know, so that might be a fun thing. How-tos, DIYs. You know, actually, I loved the comment that we made over here about, you know, DIY battery changing and tire changing and the rest of it, because that gives people the feeling that you're empowering them to do something. And then after they do it, like in my case, I'm gonna go ahead and pay you to change my alternator because I've learned that I don't want to do that. Actually, I didn't learn that lesson, but most people do. Smart people learn that lesson. They don't go and change their tire twice, but they appreciate that, and they appreciate the recommendation.
What would be like an optimum length for a Facebook Live? Like
About
how long, 30 seconds?
Well, you can actually go a little bit longer with Facebook Live. It doesn't need to be like a pre-roll or a post-roll ad, right? You can do, as long as you, the trick with Facebook Live is thinking about how you're going to get out of it, right? So, oh, my dog was doing something really cute, and then I put it on Facebook Live, and now he's just zonked out. It's not helpful. I mean, you don't want to kick the dog to make him do something, right? So just have in mind what your out is going to be. If it's going to be somebody walking through the door, you want to produce it a little bit. You don't want it to seem like a full-blown production. Don't worry about hiring gaffers and lighting crew and the rest of it. You're shooting on your iPhone, which is great, It's a great new way to bring in more content. All right, do you want your microphone back?
Not necessary. I think we did have one more.
Yes.
One last question.
Yes, yes.
How often do you suggest doing a video? Facebook Live or what? Where it doesn't become too much, you know?
That is in large part going to depend on who you are and your business. I would recommend doing and posting a video probably depending once a week if you can. And I mean, it's really super business specific. So all of the stuff that we talk about is going to change from person to person, business to business, industry to industry. So, you know, without having a deeper conversation about it, it's hard to tell. But you know, I would once a week, once a month if you can. But definitely post photos, right? So if the video gets to be too much, and I also present on how to actually do your own videos, because I think it's important. You can't be hiring somebody once a week in order to.
It's expensive.
Yeah, I mean, it really gets. Oh boy, it gets pricey. Well, I mean, you know, I'm talking about. I'm producing virtual reality now, and it's like, gosh, this is expensive. Do you really have that kind of budget? No, but yeah, I would say about once a week, once a month. You know, whenever you can, as often as you can. But really, it's the images, it's the photos. Keep those coming. All right.
Great presentation.
Oh,
Let's
yeah.